G'day friends, and welcome to our lesson 3 and 4 for our sun prints class. So today what we're going to be doing is, as I said, lesson 3 and 4. We've already done lesson 1 and 2. So I will post the links to lesson 1 and 2 below, and you'll be able to click on those to watch them as well. Okay, so this class is actually taken from our Stamp and Card Club for October. So I thought I would just do a class each Saturday and highlight this lovely, just let me get it, I will need it actually. The sun prints. Is it sun print? Just bear with me. No, it's not. It's Nature's Harvest. Sorry. It is Nature's Harvest. And it also has the matching dies. Well, I'm not very, there it is there, harvest dies, okay? So that's what we're doing. So we'll get on to today's class. So this is the card, our first card we'll be doing today. That one there. And then we're going to be doing this one as well. This one is just a little bit of a fun fold. I always like to include a fun fold in the class. So that's it there. Okay, so there are our two cards we're going to be doing. Now, I'm also using the sponge daubers to colour our shapes. Okay, now on this one I have used my Stampin' Blends, but I thought we might continue with the sponge daubers. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be doing this class, this card. So let me just grab everything we need. And it's this one. We'll have everything in our envelope. If I can, yep. Okay. And we're just going to be cutting our DSP back to the size we want, which I think is 4 3/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. Now, for those that subscribe to our Stamp and Card Club, you'll be happy to know your kits are all done for November, all packed and ready to be mailed out. So they'll be mailed out probably tomorrow when I whip downtown. Now, you will notice that I have different paper for here, for this card, than what I have on the original, but that's okay because I think I actually run out of the paper. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stick that to a layer of, basic white. Okay. Now you could use either side of this DSP because it's just lovely. The DSP is actually called Pretty Prints. It's not part of the suite, but you can use it. It all matches in. Okay, so then we're going to stick this, making sure it's nice and straight. And then we're going to stick this to, which I haven't scored. So let's bring in our trimmer. And we're going to score this at 4 1/8 or 10.5. or for the letter size 4 1/4. Okay, now the tutorials in the Stampin' Card Club do have measurements for A4, metric and imperial, as well as letter size. Okay, so they're catered for ones that use the old imperial, especially in Australia, and then your metric, as well as the letter size. So that is our card. Okay, so then we're going to do our square. So this is our square. Now, have I got, just bear with me, Oops. I have my images cut, that's all. I've got them all in. No, that's not them. That's not them. I thought I had them all cut. Just bear with me. But you know what, thought sometimes. No, they're not cut. Okay, just bear with me while I just go and get our Big Shot and our dies. Sorry about that. Sometimes we think we're organised and other times we can be too organised. Okay. So, I'll just bring our Big Shot in. That might be a little bit too close or out of focus, and I do apologise for that. And I want... Oh, I know why. Silly me. Because we are going to stamp it. Oops. That's why I haven't cut it. Now just bear with me. Okay, now we're cooking. Sorry about that. So we're just going to ink this up with Memento Tuxedo Black. And we're going to stamp this onto a piece of basic white cardstock. Just like that. Making sure I haven't moved it. No. Just tap off the excess. Then we're going to bring in our Big Shot. Our stamp and our cut and emboss machine. And our die. And we're just going to die cut this. Okay, making sure it's nice and straight, sitting nicely. And we're just going to take this through. Just like that. There it is. So we can throw our scrap away. We can put the die aside. Then what we're going to do is bring in our daubers and our inks. So now we're cooking. So here's all our inks. So first up, what we're going to be doing is our flower. So we'll bring in last one. So Saffron, we'll do the heads of the flowers. Okay. And we're just going to gently I'm not going to worry about the edges, I'm going to colour those edges as well. Just like that. It'll be a little bit of a different look, but that's okay. Then we're going to bring in Petal Pink. Okay. Petal Pink. And we're just going to dab colour over the petals of the flowers, I should say. And I'm trying to apply heavier pressure towards the top than the bottom. Okay, and then this one. There you go. I'm quite liking that actually. Totally different look, but I quite like it. Okay, so that's that one. Then we're going to bring in mint macaron, and we're going to do our stems. Now, if you didn't want to go outside the lines, which is what I've done, all you would do is just very gently dab the colour in the areas that you wanted. But I'm not being too particular, I'm just doing the outline and everything, okay? And then what we're going to do is add a little bit of glue to the back of our image, of our shape. Just like that. And I'm actually going to get a dimensional, and we're going to pop up the head of the flower. Now you'll see why in a minute, because it's actually going to pop up above the square. Now I've already pre-die cut the stitch square, which is using the Stylish Shapes dies, and you get a few different sizes and shapes in the dies. And I've just used one of the squares, and I'll put one in the middle, and then we'll bring in our base card, making sure it opens the right way, and we'll just put that just up towards the top a bit. Actually, what we'll do before we do that, I want to stick that on there like that. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, then we're going to turn this over and we're going to grab our scissors and we're going to trim the bottom of that stem off. Then we're going to come back, making sure that's nice and straight in the middle, and stick that down. And that's where the top of your flower sits, because it needs to be raised and the Stampin' Dimensional will give it support. Okie dokie. Then we're going to bring in our die cut shape, which is in the die set. And we're going to bring in thank you. Yep, thank you. Thank you. And a block and our rich razzleberry. And we're going to stamp our sentiment. Now just bear with me. Well, I always like to stamp onto scrap paper first so that I know that I'm sort of getting my image straight. So just bear with me, it may be out of eyesight a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we're going to pop this up as well. 1, 2. Now this is a very simple, easy card. And we're just going to pop that up about there, I think. And that looks pretty straight to me. Okay. So that's that. And to finish it off, we're going to bring in our balloon, which is right here, and these are our brushed brass butterflies. So these are included in your kit too if you're a member of the club. And we'll grab our Take a Pick tool, and we're just going to pop a couple on our card. And one more just down there. Don't need a lot. Okay, so I'll put those away before we lose them. And of course, we need to finish the inside of our card and our envelope. And we've got to make that matchy-matchy. So what we're going to do with our leftover cardstock, we're just going to cut 2 pieces of DSP. And I'm just doing them at different sizes. Okay. We're going to bring in our basic white, piece of basic white. And the thicker of the two, I'm going to put for the inside of my card. Okay, now this DSP will be longer because remember we chopped it back to size. but that's okay because then we can chop this back to size. And then we're going to stick this to the inside of our card. Just like that. And for our second piece, we will then find our envelope and we will put it down the side. Okay, just like that. And that is our matching envelope, our matching card with the inside matching, and the original card that we took the inspiration from, or the class from. Okay, looking totally different only because of the sponging, of the dobbing, and the pattern paper. Okay, and that's the inside. Oh, what do I do for this? And I've stamped the same image for the inside. But these ones are done with the Stamp and Blends, and this one is done with the sponge dobber. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I will be back shortly, so don't go away with lesson number 4. Okay, thanks. See ya. All right.